Hello, I'm Crafty Patty, and thanks for dropping in. You're here because you want to know how to make a crochet net market bag. This is going to help us reduce some more of that plastic from not taking off those produce bags every time we go shopping. So what I'm going to do is when I go shopping, I'm going to take one of these bags. When I go along the aisles, I'm just going to pop whatever I want. My green peppers, some avocado, oranges, onions, celery, whatever I want to put in here. This is going to hold a lot of produce. And then when I get up to the cash register, I can just take them out, they can weigh them, put them back in, and away I go. Not one plastic bag in there. And this is reusable to use over and over and over and over again. And it's pretty. And look how much that stretches. You can get a lot of stuff in there. So keep watching. I know it's a long video, but that's because I'm showing you step by step by step how to make your crochet net market bag. And here's the written out instructions how I decided to design my crochet net market bag. I've tried to make it as simple as possible by only using single crochet and chain stitches. You can choose to follow this pattern, and that will be in the description box below the video. For those that don't know how to find that, that's that little tiny down arrow. It's really small to the right of the video and below. Click on that and it'll pull up the full description and the pattern will be there. It might also say the words show more. You can choose to make your net bag in one solid color, or you can make lots of colors. You can make stripes, whatever your desire is. If you want to have the exact same color as the ones I've done, then that's great. This one here is called Mod Blue. This one is Salt and Pepper. And I used different scraps on this one, but the main portion of this bag is Emerald Energy Ombre. Pair of scissors. And you'll want a darning needle with a nice big eye in it. And I'm using a crochet hook by Loops and Threads. Anyone will do. And the one I'm using today is the G, or some people say 7 or 4.5 millimeter. And you'll want to get yourself some crochet markers. I just use bobby pins. I find it works just as good and I like them. So either way. Okay, be forewarned, I am a leftie. So I'm going to show how to do the magic ring for right-handers, and then I'll show for left-handers, and I will continue to do the rest of the crocheting left-handed. It's a very simple pattern, so hopefully if you're right-handed and you've crocheted before, it won't be a problem for you. Okay, so here we go. I'll try, but it's awkward for me because I'm left-handed. But yarn over, 3 fingers, make a cross on the back, bring it around, hold with your baby finger. You're coming underneath, grabbing that yarn, twist it around, and now we're grabbing that yarn there. So grab that yarn there, pull it through, and there you've made your magic ring. Then when you start your crocheting, you're going to be starting by going around this loose end and the 2 strands on the ring here. Okay, hopefully that helps for your right-handed people. Now let's do it for the lefties. And for the lefties, wrap around your 3 fingers, make a cross, bring it around to the top side. This one was going to come underneath. You're going to grab that, bring it up, and now we're coming underneath this one. Grab that one, and then pull it through your loop, and you've made your magic ring. So now we're going to just slip that off. And my apologies for my black nail. It's not dirt, it's black paint from a painting disaster. You might watch that video. Maybe you won't. Anyways, back to the crochet. So you've got your tail coming up from the ball, and you've got the tail that you've started with to make your magic ring. We want to form our single crochets around these two strands. So let's wrap our yarn for good tension, and now we're ready to start our single crochets. We're going to do 6 into the magic ring. So the first one, insert your hook into the magic ring, grab your yarn, pull it through the magic ring, wrap around, and pull through. That's your first one. Second one, again, through the magic ring, grab the yarn, pull it through the magic ring, yarn around, and pull through. Next one, through the magic ring, grab, pull through, and now you want to probably hold on to this side and this side. It's probably easier. Wrap around, pull through. That's 3. Again. Last one. And 6. So you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now what we're going to do is pull our tail, but we're not going to pull it really tight. So we're just going to cinch this up just a little bit, just till about there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 single crochets into each one that we did on the previous row. So here's our first one, right there. So we're going in the front and through the back. The first one will be a bit on the tight side. Yarn around, pull through, yarn around, pull through. We're now going into that exact same hole again for our second one. And yarn around, 2. We've now made 2 single crochets into that first single crochet that from the previous round. So let's do that again in the next one. Here's our next one. And we're going through the front and the back, through both. There's 1 and 2. Next one. 1 and 2. We've done 3 so far. This is the 4th one. 1 and 2. And the 5th one. And the last one. Now we're going to come in and we're going to pull on this and we're going to cinch this up nice and tight now. So give a really good pull on this and cinch it right up. Hold on, and you might even feel it or even see it. Just do that little last click in. There it is. I don't know if you saw that or not. That means it's nice and tight. And you can see it's nicely cinched in all the way. Okay, so now you should have 12 stitches in your round. So counting this one here, not on the needle, but this one. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now we're going for our third row, and now we're going to do 2 single crochets into each stitch again until we have 24 on the round. So let's go into our first one here. There's 1 into the same hole. There's 2. Let's come in and make a marker. That was our first one, that was our second one. Then we know that's the first one that we've done. Here's our next stitch, front and back. One and 2. 1 and 2. And go around your round till you get back to your marker. Here's our marker, so we know this is our last one. Easier than having to count all the way around. And you can check it by counting and making sure that you've got 24. 1, 2, 3. Let's take out our marker. And let's pop it into this stitch here. So just 1 each time. So 1 for that one, 1 for the next one, 1 in each one of them, and go all the way around. This little tail is kind of bugging me, so I'm going to just slip it through to the other side. First one, 1 into the 1 stitch. The next one, we're going to do 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So there's 1, there's 2. Next one, just 1. Next stitch, 2 into the same single crochet. And carry around till you get back to your marker. And coming around to the end, here's our next stitch, which is a 1. And right where our pin is, that is our last one. Take that out. And there'll be 2 into this last one. Let's put our marker back in right here. You can go around and make sure that you now have 36 stitches in the round. Round 6, 1 single crochet into each stitch. One into each one all the way around and continue around. And we're back to our marker. I'll take that out. Do our last one for that row and put our marker back in. Round 7, we're going to now do 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 2 into the next, 1 into the same hole, 2, then 1, just like before, and now 2 into the same stitch. And continue that pattern around till you get to the beginning. And our last stitches, there's our 1. We'll take out our marker. And 2. And place our marker back in. Now you should have 54 stitches going around. And can you guess what we're doing next? I bet you can. We're doing 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Into the last one. Insert my marker again. And guess what we're doing now? We're back to 1 in the first stitch and 2 in the next. And work your way around the round till you get to your marker again. And you should now have 81 stitches going all the way around. Next row, 1 into each one and all the way around. Now we're going to be starting row 11. This is the start of the knitting portion of our bag. So I want you to do 1 single crochet into your first stitch. I want you to chain 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. Now, I want you to bring that chain into the third one over. Well, not the third one. Let's say it this way. We're going to skip 2. So you're going to skip this one, and into this one. So the third one from where you entered into your first chain. And we're going to do a single crochet. Like so. Okay, so let's do that again. 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, skip 2, into the third one with a single crochet. And continue around till you're back to the start. So now we're going to chain 4. And we're going to insert it into the opening of this first loop we have made from our previous round. So go right into that hole, come up and do your 1 single crochet and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down and come into the next hole. Single crochet and chain 4. And repeat that pattern until you've gone all the way around. And we can take out our marker and move it up to the next row. Pop it anywhere you want to. It's not that crucial where it is. And now rows 13 to 33 are exactly the same as your last row. So you just keep doing that until your bag starts forming up. So around you go, same thing. And don't worry about where this is attaching. If it's slipping over here, it will all even out in the end and they'll all be in the middle. So don't stress about that too much. Just right into the hole with your single crochet and chaining 4. So this is how far we've got with my first ball. So we're just going to tie this in a nice strong knot, and then we'll be sewing in our ends afterwards. So just a left over right and a right over the left, and pull that tight. And then when you go to get to that part, you're just going to continue on from the blue, leave the two ends hanging, we'll sew those in later, and continue on with this green here. So I'll just go around again until we get to there. And here's our little ends. Leave those out to my 4th crochet, or 4th chain, sorry, and then into here again. And we're on our way again. All right, and so we'll see you again when I get to the end of my round 33. And as you can see, it's already starting to form the sides of the bag as we go. It's starting to curl up now. All right, so we have finished round 33, and now we're going to start round 34. Our previous rows we chained 4, now we're going to chain 3. This will help to bring our bag in a little bit so it's not really flimsy on the top. And you notice I painted my thumbnail for you? It's covering the black paint. Oh dear. All right, so let's continue here. So here's my marker into my next hole, single crochet as before, but now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Around you go, repeating that pattern till you get back to the start. I've now completed my round 34. I'll just move my marker up here. And now, for row 35, we're now going to go in to our next stitch, and instead of chaining 3, we're now going to chain 2. So 1, 2. For all of round 35, when you're doing your chains, make sure that you do them on the looser side. Give them some room, don't make them really tight, because on your next round, you've got to be able to get into these chains to do your next row. Into the next hole, single crochet, and chain 2. And repeat that pattern all the way around the round till you get back to your marker. See you when I get there. We're going to go into our next opening, and 1 single crochet, chain 1. Now, this is the part that might be a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna, hopefully I can be close enough into the view of the camera for you so I can explain it. So if you see here, you can see the little V formations. Those are your stitches you've made or chains. We need to go between that piece of yarn and these two on the top, okay? In between this one, and it's almost like you want to bring your crochet hook a little bit to the back. You see? So I've hooked it into the 2 on the top, and I've got the yarn sitting on the back. This is what you want. So let's go ahead and bring that yarn through and do our single crochet. And again, so right here, that's the first part of that V formation, right there. And there's the second part right there. So we're grabbing that. Sometimes you might need to use your fingers if it's a little bit of a tight chain. Again, you've got a yarn on the back and you're going through the 2 loops on the top. Again, yarn over, pull through, and finish your single crochet. And then when you get to this, where you've come through your loop from your previous row, will be a bit easier because there's your bottom loop and here's your 2, so that's an easy one for you. And the next one, again, just through the top. And if you go like this and you go, oh, that's really loose, you know you haven't done it right. So again, under, bring your crochet hook slightly back and grab that other part of the V. Again. And your next one. And if you've made some of your chains tighter like I did on this one, then you'll have to maybe fight just a little bit more to get it to go in, but not too bad. But as long as you've got that piece of yarn on the other side and it's in there and you're not going just through the hole, that's what we want. Grab that yarn, pull it through, and the next one will be easy again. Okay, so hopefully you're okay with that. I'm going to try to do a close-up for you here so you can really see what's happening. This last one is where I've gone in, right here into the stitch here. So the next one is going to be this one. So I'm going into the top part of that V. So I'm coming through the top part of that V, moving your crochet back slightly and grabbing the other top of the V, like so. Yarn over, pull through, and form your single crochet. So basically, you've got the one stitch that's formed above where you've come through with pierced around through the hole. You've got two stitches that you want to form in the middle, and then you're back to the one again. So work all the way around in that manner till you've got all your single crochets on your top row, like so. Even though I placed my marker here, I can tell I need to do some more single crochets along the section here. You can see how these ones here are catching, and there's that one bottom piece of yarn underneath these stitches. And the same where I've got on this side, you can see the bottom stitch like that. This one here is still open, so you know that you have to go up to where it is encased into that bottom piece of yarn. So I'll finish. Count your stitches all the way around the bag, and you should have 82. Now this last row, it was a little bit more difficult. So if you ended up with 83 or you ended up with 81, then don't fret, you can fix it. If you have 81, then go into the same stitch and do one more. If you have 83, then take out your last stitch. It won't hurt anything. Okay, just to make it so you've got 82 in total. Now for our last two rounds for this part of the bag before our handles, we are just going to go in and do one single crochet into each stitch. So you can see how this one is already into this one here. We're going into our next one. And again, you're picking up that whole V, so front and back. And wrap around, pull through, and make your single crochet. Again, for the next one, nice and easy this row. So just single crochets into the top, the front and back of each stitch, and work your way around. And I'm back to my markers, so I finished row 37, and now row 38 exactly the same. So back into your next stitch, and single crochets all the way around till you get back to your marker. So I've now finished row 38. I'm going to have this last stitch on the side of my bag. So I want you to fold your bag in half like so. And then we're going to place another marker at the other end. This will be 41 stitches. So you've got your marker here and a marker at 41 stitches. Once you've got those markers placed, you're going to take another marker on both ends and you're going to count in 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and place a marker. And the same on the back side. Now counting this one, you're then going to count in another 12 on this side. And do exactly the same on the other side. So now you should have a marker on both ends. 12 inches, 12 inches. Marker on both ends, 12 stitches in, 12 stitches in, and the same on the other side, 12 stitches in and 12 stitches in. So here we have our bag, still folded in half. This is where we stopped our crocheting from our last row. And now what we're going to do is single crochet into these next 12 stitches and then stop. On this bag here, I chained 80, and that's how long your handle will be if you chain 80. This is giving you enough length that if you want to sling this over your shoulder, then you can. So for the next bag, I'm going to only chain 50, and that will be more like just hold on with your hands as a handle. So just so you can see the difference, you can choose to do either one you want. It doesn't matter. You do this same type of pattern down here, but you're just having a smaller chain for your handle. You'll just have it shorter. And when you fold the bag the other way, that's what your handles will look like. So right here, go ahead, and if you want a larger handle, then chain 80. If you want the smaller handle, then chain 50. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and away you go, all the way till you get to the amount that you want for the handle size that you want. And there's my chains. They're not real tight and they're not real loose. You want it to loosen up, you'll be able to get in there to form your next row to get through. So I've chained 50, that's what 50 looks like. And this is where we chained up to that first marker. We've now chained 50. And now we're going to bring this chain along and bring it back down in where our other marker is. So now we're coming into where our marker is, front and back a stitch, wrap around, and form our single crochet. Now we've hooked in to the other side. That will be our handle. So now what we want to do is we want to single crochet into each of these stitches till we get to our next marker. This was the marker that we placed for the end of our bag. We don't need that marker really anymore. So we can actually take that out so it doesn't confuse you. So let's take that out. And we're going to come all the way up, single crochet to our next marker. And this is where we're now going to chain either 50 for a short handle or 80 for a long handle. So I'm going to chain 50 on this one. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. And keep going till you've got the desired length for your handle. So we've got our chain. Now we're coming into our next marker through the front and the back as always, and a single crochet to join it in. Now we're going to crochet, single crochet up to where our handle begins. So you can remove that other marker. We don't need that anymore. And again, single crochet all the way to where that first handle starts. So this is where we were doing our single crochet, and now we're getting close to where our first chained handle begins. So you can see on the top here where you see the chains, like so. This is where our stitch has already got in. That's this one. So we're going to go into the next one. And you're going through the front and the back of the stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and regular single crochet. So let's get into the next stitch. Here's the next one. Again, through the front and the back, yarn over, pull through, single crochet. So if you turn your chain over so you've got all your V's facing towards you, you know that you've got to go into both that front and the back of the V. So you're going into the front, angle the crochet hook slightly back so you can pick up the back part of that stitch. It's going in right there. You know it's secure when you know you've got that yarn on the back side. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Do that once more into the next one. Again, into the front, angle the crochet hook slightly back so you can get the back of the V. You know you're caught if it's secure. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So I just thought of maybe possibly another way to explain this a little easier for you. See if I can get it in focus here because it's so close. Here's our next stitch right here. So what we're doing is we're going underneath, we're going over that middle part and back over through the back of the V. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through. So I'll do that once more for you. Lining up so the V's are sitting on the top. Here's our next one. We're going under, we're going over that part right there, and then under to grab the V. Don't know if that helped or not, but there you go. Pull through. Carry on until we get to the end. And then you're going to carry on with single crochets and up to the handle and around we go again. So here's a bit of a visual for you. We've single crocheted up to the handle. We crocheted into each of our chain stitches. We're coming around, and now we're going to continue on and crochet along here, come up around the handle,
come back down, and then we keep going around. Okay, so right now I'm at my last stitch from having my handle there. So I'm going to come into my next stitch, which is right here, and I'm going to make sure that this one is on the tight side because it's a little tiny bit of a stress point right there. So we want to make sure it's a little bit tighter. So I'm cinching up a little bit more for that one stitch to attach it back to the bag here. And then the next one, I'll probably go a little tiny bit tighter than I usually do as well, just to make sure that's nice and secure. All right, continue on and single crochet and do the same thing that we did on this handle, going in the front and the back of the stitch and go around your chains. And I'm getting close to my next handle. So let's go into the next stitch here. And then we start where we're making sure that we're going front and back of every stitch. Make sure the V's are facing towards you. And we're going under, over that middle one, and into the back. Over, through, yarn over, and pull through. Again, once more, I'm going underneath, over that middle one, and you can twist the crochet slightly to the back and pick up the back of the stitch. Yarn over, pull through, carry on until we get to the end, and then you're going to carry on with single crochets and up to the handle, and around we go again. And I'm back at my last stitch where my marker is, and we'll go into the stitch here. Again, make it a little bit tighter just to really secure the handle to the bag. And again, we're off and rolling with single crochets around until we get to the next handle, and then we're just going to go up and around and up and around. And now we're getting close to where our handle starts again, and now it'll be nice and easy because we can go right through our crochet stitches where we see our beads here. So nice and easy now, right into the handle, into each stitch, one single crochet into each stitch all the way around the handle. And I'm back to my handle, and I'm going to go around the whole bag one more time. I'm now finishing my row 42, and on this side of the bag I have 7 rows of crochet. On this side we have 6. So I'm going to finish off with my handle and come along here, and I'm going to stop here. So here I am. I've crocheted my last stitch to the beginning of my handle. Let's leave a tail of about 10-12 inches. Cut off your yarn. And now what we're going to do is do 2 slip knots. So we're going into the next stitch. We're going to pull through and pull right through, like so. Let's do that one more time. Into the next stitch, pull through and pull through. Now we're going to just take our yarn and pull right through that loop all the way through. Pull it nice and tight. And then let's take your big-eyed darning needle and thread your yarn. Now let's thread in the tail. So just weave your way back through some of your stitches here. going back and forth. Let's do a few more. Let's come back the other way again. And then come back into the next row. And weave your way back through. Pull that through. Give it a little bit of a tug. And cut off your end. And then just go around and do the same thing with all your other little tails that you've joined wool with. And in this case, when you've got two different colored pieces of yarn, I'm going to make sure that I come through just the blue so it hides it. So let's go through and just weave it in and out of the blue here. We'll go underneath the green. And then come back the other way. Give it a little bit of a tug. And cut off your end. And do the same with all your other little ends that you need to sew in, and then you'll be finished your bag. This bag measures approximately 14.5 inches by about 13 inches, or that would be 37 centimeters by 33 centimeters. That's the size with nothing in it. But once you've put your produce or bread or any shopping at all in here, when you go to fill it up, you'll see how much it stretches. It's really stretchy both ways. So you'll be able to get lots of stuff in there.